Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Catch Up English Podcast.
We're so happy you're here today. Let's talk about navigating the airport check-in desk.
So, I want you to picture a very specific situation, a really common one.
Oh, yeah.
You are standing in the middle of this enormous airport. And before this trip, you did everything right.
Right. You studied your English vocabulary.
Exactly. You practiced your phrases at home. You felt totally ready and confident.
But then you get there.
Yeah, suddenly you are standing directly in front of the airline staff. And it is incredibly loud all around you. People are rushing past.
It's just chaos.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the staff member looks at you, asks a simple question, and, well, nothing happens. You just freeze.
Your mind goes completely blank.
Yes. You forget every single English word you ever learned. I mean, you might look down at your luggage and you completely forget a basic word like suitcase.
Right. The object is right there, but the English word is locked away.
Exactly. You want to say something basic like asking for a seat next to the window, but the words just refuse to come out of your mouth. It can be so frustrating.
It really is. And, it's a very real, very physical feeling.
Yeah.
It is really important to understand is that this is not a failure of your English skills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not at all. This is a very common human reaction to a highly stressful environment.
So it's not just me forgetting my flashcards.
No. There is actually a biological reason this happens. When you enter a massive, noisy place like an airport, your brain detects stress.
Oh, wow. Because you're worried about missing your flight.
Exactly. You're worried about the flight, you are worried about understanding a new language, and when your brain is stressed, it releases a chemical called cortisol.
Cortisol, okay.
Right. And cortisol actually blocks your memory. It literally stops you from finding the words you studied.
That is a fascinating way to look at it. I mean, the airport feels like taking a difficult test.
It really does.
But you are taking this test while a long line of tired people stands right behind you. Oh, the pressure.
Yeah, you can feel them tapping their feet. You know they want you to hurry up.
And that social pressure creates more stress, which means more cortisol, and that makes it even harder to speak clearly.
Wow, what a cycle.
Yeah.
So is our goal today like giving the listener a secret map to survive the airport?
That is a great way to put it, yes. Our mission for this deep dive is to break that cycle completely.
I love that.
We are going to build your confidence so that cortisol response just doesn't happen. We want to give you a specific set of phrases, those magic words.
Right.
But more importantly, we want to help you build muscle memory.
Muscle memory. I like that a lot better than just memorizing a list. It's like driving a car, right?
Spot on.
When you first learn to drive, you have to think about every single pedal and mirror. But eventually, your muscles just know what to do without thinking.
Precisely. When you know exactly how the airport works, and you practice these specific phrases until they are muscle memory, the anxiety just fades away.
Because you don't have to think, you just speak.
Exactly. By the end of our conversation today, you will be able to handle that check-in desk smoothly, calmly, and really just like a professional traveler.
Well, let's start building that muscle memory right now. Let's imagine the journey of walking into the airport.
Okay, let's do it.
The very first thing I do when I walk through those sliding glass doors is look for a place to drop off my heavy luggage. I look for a desk with my airline's logo.
Right.
And that is our first crucial vocabulary word, right? The check-in.
Yes, check-in. This is the foundation of your airport experience. It is a noun, like the check-in desk, but it is also an action, to check in.
Wait, is that like checking into a hotel?
That is a perfect comparison. It works exactly the same way.
Oh, okay. Because when I arrive at a hotel, I go to the front desk to tell them I have arrived.
Right. The airline has a massive list of hundreds of people who bought tickets, but they do not know if you actually drove to the airport today.
That makes sense. So you go to the check-in desk to physically announce your arrival. You give them your passport, and you are basically telling them, I am here in the building and I am ready to fly.
And they really need us to do that for logistical reasons, too. I mean, they need to know exactly how many people are on the plane.
Yes, and they need to weigh our bags so they can balance the weight of the aircraft.
Right. So checking in is that first big interaction. After they take my heavy suitcase, they do not just send me away empty-handed. They give me something back.
Yes. Once you check in, the staff will give you the second crucial item on our list, your boarding pass.
Boarding pass. I know the word pass usually means permission to enter somewhere, like a hall pass in school or a backstage pass at a concert.
Exactly.
So this is my permission to enter the airplane.
That is a vital distinction because many people just call it a ticket. but the boarding pass is much more specific.
Ah, what's the difference?
Well, your ticket is just the receipt. It just shows you paid for the flight. The boarding pass is the actual official document that grants you permission to walk through security and get on the plane.
Oh, I see.
It has your specific seat number, your gate number, and your boarding time.
Now, I have to ask, I rarely get a paper boarding pass anymore. I almost always have it pulled up on my airline app on my phone.
Oh, sure.
If it is on my phone, is it still called a boarding pass?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It can be a rectangular piece of paper the staff prints out, or it can be a digital ticket on your phone screen. Both are universally called a boarding pass.
Good to know, because you cannot get onto the airplane without it.
Exactly.
That brings up a good point, actually. Since everything is digital now, I always like to take a screenshot of my boarding pass on my phone.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, because sometimes the airport Wi-Fi is terrible or the airline app freezes right when I'm walking up to the scanning machine.
That is a fantastic strategy for reducing travel stress. Just have that picture ready.
Definitely. Okay, so I have completed the check-in and I have my boarding pass in my hand, but I usually still have one more item with me.
Yes, you do. And this is our third important term, the carry-on.
The carry-on. This is the bag that I did not give to the staff at the check-in desk, right?
Right.
It is my backpack or maybe my small rolling suitcase. I keep it with me.
Exactly. And the logic behind the name is very literal. It is the small bag you physically carry on to the airplane yourself.
Carry-on. Got it. I know airlines are very strict about the size of a carry-on. I actually once saw a passenger arguing because their carry-on bag was entirely too big.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot.
And the staff made them pay to check it.
They have to be strict, and there is a mechanical reason for it. A carry-on must be small enough to fit in the overhead storage bin above your seat.
Or under the seat in front of you.
Right. If everyone brings a massive carry-on bag, the plane literally runs out of physical space, and the flight gets delayed. So the carry-on must be compact.
Okay, the whole journey makes total sense now. I walk in, I find the check-in desk to announce I am here.
Yes.
I get my boarding pass, which is my permission to fly, and I keep my small carry-on bag with me.
You've got it.
Now that we understand the steps, I want to hear what this actually sounds like in the real world.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
We're going to do a real dialogue scene, a natural conversation at the check-in desk.
Perfect. Let me set the scene for us so we can visualize it.
Go ahead.
I am standing on the carpet in the departure hall. It's busy. I can hear the wheels of 100 suitcases rolling over the floor.
Yeah, very loud.
I can hear a voice on the speakers announcing a flight to Tokyo. The computer monitor at the desk in front of me is beeping loudly, and I am stepping up to the counter right now.
Okay, I will play the role of the busy airline staff member, and you play the role of the traveler. We will speak slowly and clearly.
I am ready. Let's do it.
Good morning. Where are you flying today?
Good morning. I am flying to London.
May I see your passport, please?
Yes. Here you go.
Thank you. Are you checking any bags today?
Yes, just this one suitcase. And I have one carry-on bag.
Perfect. Please place your suitcase on the scale. Great. Would you like a window or an aisle seat?
A window seat, please.
Okay. Here is your boarding pass. You are at gate 15. Boarding starts at 10:30.
Thank you very much.
And scene. That was great.
Wow, that was incredibly smooth. Hearing it spoken at a natural pace takes a lot of the intimidation out of it.
It really does.
I mean, it did not feel like a complex test. It just felt like a simple exchange of information.
Right. The staff member just needs a few specific facts from you to do their job. When you know what questions are coming, you can have your answers ready.
I want to point out a really nice phrase from that conversation. When you asked for my passport, I didn't just hand it to you in silence.
No, you did.
I used a specific phrase. I said, "Here you go."
Yes. Here you go. That is an incredibly powerful, everyday English phrase.
I know that handing something to someone in complete silence can feel strangely rude in English-speaking cultures.
Yeah.
It's just a bit awkward.
It is.
Can you explain why "here you go" is the standard response?
It really comes down to the culture of transactions. In English, we like to verbally acknowledge when a physical exchange is happening.
Oh, okay.
If I ask for your passport and you just silently push it toward me, it feels like you are ignoring me, or maybe even that you are angry.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't want them to think I'm angry.
Right. Saying "here you go" provides a friendly verbal signal. It tells the other person, I heard your request, and I'm handing this object to you now.
So it is just a friendly way to narrate the action. You can use it anywhere, right?
Anywhere.
Like if a cashier asks for my credit card, I hand it to them and say, here you go.
Exactly.
Or if a friend asks me to pass the salt at dinner, I hand it over and say, here you go.
Yes, it fills the silence with politeness. It's perfect.
I love that. Let's look at another part of the check-in process. We talked about choosing a seat on the airplane.
Yes, the window or aisle.
In our scene, you asked me what I wanted. But what if the staff member doesn't ask? What if I need to start that request?
That happens very often. If you simply say, window seat, with your voice going up at the end, the staff will certainly understand your meaning.
Sure, but we want to upgrade your fluency. We want you to sound like a capable, confident traveler.
Exactly. Because just saying window seat sounds a bit like a harsh command rather than a polite request.
Yeah.
It lacks that conversational flow.
Right. So how do we upgrade it?
We use a polite grammatical structure. We usually start with, may I have or could I have?
Okay, so instead of the blunt window seat, I build a complete polite request. I say, could I have a window seat, please?
Yes, could I have a window seat, please? In English, using words like could or may softens the request.
It makes it sound less demanding.
Right, you're asking for a favor rather than giving an order.
It feels much more respectful. Oh, and speaking of respect, let's look at one more scenario from our dialogue.
Okay.
At the end of our role play, you gave me my gate number. You said gate 15. But airports are huge, confusing buildings.
We really are.
Sometimes the signs are terrible, and you get completely lost. If I need to stop a busy airport worker to ask for directions to my gate, how do I do that without being rude?
This is a crucial skill. The simplest way is to just walk up to someone and ask, where is gate 15?
But again, that feels very sudden and sharp, right?
Yeah.
Especially if that person is currently working on something else.
Exactly, because you are interrupting them. And in many cultures, interrupting a busy stranger is a delicate social interaction. You have to acknowledge the interruption first.
Right. And the way we acknowledge the interruption in English is by starting with an apology. We say, excuse me.
Yes. So the upgraded, perfectly natural way to ask for directions is to say, excuse me, could you tell me where gate 15 is?
Excuse me. Could you tell me where gate 15 is?
Beautiful. Notice how that builds a bridge to the person? You apologize for stopping them. You use could you tell me to soften the question, and then you ask for the location.
It changes the entire dynamic. It makes the worker pause, look at you, and actually want to help you because you approach them with such high respect. So we have these excellent phrases. We understand why they work, but just listening to us talk about them will not build that muscle memory we discussed earlier.
No, it won't. Listening is passive, speaking is active.
Right.
To build that confidence in your brain so that you remember these words when you are stressed, you must physically speak them out loud.
It is time for active practice.
Yes, it is.
I know it might feel a little strange or silly to talk out loud to a podcast. You might be making dinner right now or, walking your dog.
But do it anyway.
Yes, I highly encourage you to participate. Feel how the words move in your mouth. Imagine that noisy check-in desk right in front of you.
I am going to say two of our upgraded phrases. I will say them slowly. When I leave a pause, I want you to repeat the phrase out loud with confidence.
You can do this.
Here's the first one. You are asking for a specific seat on the plane. Repeat after me. I'd like a window seat, please.
Notice how your tongue and your breath feel making those sounds. Saying it out loud right now is what builds that muscle memory, so the phrase is there when you actually need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. Try to sound as natural and relaxed as possible. I'd like a window seat, please.
Fantastic. Now let's practice the exchange. The staff member just asked to see your passport. You were holding it out to them.
Repeat after me. Here you go.
It is a short, simple phrase, but it does so much heavy lifting in English conversations. Let's lock it in one more time. You are handing over the passport.
Here you go.
Great work. Doing this kind of active practice is the absolute best way to ensure your brain does not freeze up when the real moment arrives.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
And while having the right vocabulary is essential, there is one more element to mastering English interactions.
Especially in stressful environments.
Right. It is a concept that goes beyond just grammar.
Are we talking about cultural secrets? Because I have noticed that in airports, everyone is stressed.
Oh, definitely.
The travelers are stressed, but the airline staff working behind the desk often look incredibly tired and overwhelmed, too. They deal with angry passengers all day long.
That is a very empathetic observation. And it leads us perfectly into a massive cultural secret for getting the best possible help in English-speaking countries.
Oh, tell me.
It is the concept of using polite cushions. or language cushions.
Polite cushions, and I love that visual. A cushion is something soft, like a pillow, right? It absorbs impact. So we are putting soft pillows around our words.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. English is a language that relies heavily on tone and politeness to convey meaning.
Right.
When we speak very directly, our sentences can feel hard, sharp, or demanding. But by using words like please and thank you, we create soft cushions that absorb the harshness of a request.
Let's apply this to a real situation. Let's say I am running incredibly late for my flight.
Okay.
I am sweating, I am panicked, and the boarding gate closes in 10 minutes. My natural instinct is to run up to the nearest staff member and just yell, "Where is gate 15?" Because I need the information instantly.
And that makes total sense from your perspective. You're in a panic.
Right.
But from the staff member's perspective, a stranger just ran up and barked a command at them. Their natural psychological reaction will be defensive.
Because my hard words created friction.
Exactly. But if you take one deep breath and use your language cushions, the entire interaction changes.
So even if I am rushing, I should take the half second to say, "Excuse me, could you tell me where gate 15 is, please?"
Yes. That one simple word, please, acts as the cushion. It softens the panic. It signals to the worker that even though you are stressed, you still respect them as a human being.
I see the mechanics of that now. When you do not use polite cushions, the staff member sees you as a problem to handle.
Right.
But when you use please and thank you, they see you as a person who needs their expertise.
Exactly. Customer service workers in airports deal with rudeness all day. When you offer them the soft cushion of polite language, it is refreshing.
It makes them actually want to go out of their way to help you find your gate or help you change your seat.
Yes, politeness is a powerful tool.
It really is. It is a reminder that language learning is not just about memorizing vocabulary lists. It is about learning how to connect with other humans.
Beautifully said.
When you use those polite cushions, you make the human connection stronger.
I think that brings us to a really solid understanding of the whole airport experience. Let's do a quick, clear recap of the journey we took today to make sure those concepts are locked in.
I think that is a great idea. Today, you, the listener, conquered the core concepts of the airport check-in. First, you learned the check-in.
Right. That is the desk where you physically announce your arrival and give the staff your heavy luggage.
Then we discussed the boarding pass. This is not just a receipt. It is the official document, either printed on paper or scanned on your phone, that gives you permission to walk onto the airplane.
Exactly. And we covered the carry-on.
Yeah.
This is the smaller bag, like a backpack, that you do not give to the airline. You physically carry it onto the plane and place it in the overhead bin.
We also worked on building muscle memory for the magic phrases of polite travel.
Yes. We practiced saying, "Here you go," to politely narrate the action of handing someone your passport or credit card.
And we learned the fluency upgrade for requesting a seat, changing the blunt window seat to the much softer, "Could I have a window seat, please?"
And you learned the proper, respectful way to interrupt a busy worker to ask for directions. "Excuse me, could you tell me where gate 15 is?"
You put in a lot of great effort today. You dug into the reasons why we use these phrases, you practiced speaking them out loud, and you learned the psychological power of language cushions.
So true.
I really believe that anyone listening right now is completely ready for their next trip. There is no reason to let cortisol freeze your brain ever again. You have the tools and you have the muscle memory.
You absolutely do. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to explore on your own. We spent this whole deep dive talking about the airport.
Right.
And we know that using polite cushions works wonders when dealing with stressed airline staff.
Oh, it's a total game changer for travel.
But think about your normal daily routine, completely outside of the airport. Where else in your day could adding a simple please, thank you, or excuse me, completely change the way a stranger reacts to you? Whether you are buying coffee from a tired barista, waiting in a long line at the grocery store, or just asking a stranger for directions on the street, those tiny language cushions might just be the secret to creating a better, friendlier day for everyone you meet.
Thanks for learning with us today.
Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.